Good afternoon. As you can see, I'm the energy manager at a large industrial facility in Southern California. We have about 1.5 million tons of product that we put in rail cars and trucks. I have a stated goal to transform it into a zero-net energy industrial facility. We started with energy efficiency, which is really easy. Everybody knows how to do the electrical savings. We got 15% savings. Now we're starting on the steam and natural gas, which is the difficult part. That's when I had to find some expert help. I went to a meeting in Southern California of emerging technologies and was disappointed not to hear anyone talk about thermal storage. When I did hear someone talk about it, it was Parker. I almost hurt my neck turning to see who it was. I went back and introduced myself. We worked on some projects together, and so now they are coming. They're working on a project to save steam that we used to vent. That also means we're saving water, which is pretty important in the desert. We're a desert like this. And we're saving natural gas. So I'd like you to help me welcome Parker Wells, the CEO of Element 16.
Hi, everyone. I grew up in California. This is my family at California's Yosemite National Park. It's really a special place for me. I've gone every year since I was born. It's where I learned how to ride a bike, where I learned how to swim, and where my family reconnects as adults. In fact, they're there right now without me, especially enjoying their time, I think. All right. This is my Yosemite. But this is also my Yosemite. In 2017, California saw its largest wildfire on record. In 2018, we saw yet another the largest wildfire on record. And months later, we saw our deadliest fire on record. This is not just a California problem. Around the world, storms, floods, fires are claiming homes, communities, and lives. Our Earth is warming. We know this. Governments know this. And governments are putting significant pressure on the world's largest emitting companies. What does that mean? That means we need to innovate. And by we, I mean the sector that consumes more than half of all energy, the industrial sector. This means chemical processing, minerals, metals, and of course, oil and gas, which has some of the largest companies in the world. In fact, 5 of the 10 largest companies in the world, representing $1.5 trillion in annual revenue, are heavy industrial energy companies. And all of them face the exact same environmental headwinds. Element 16 flips the script for these companies by tackling their biggest emissions problem and putting them on the front foot with regulators. So what's their big emissions problem? Industrial processes rely on old, inefficient technologies, which means that half of the energy that they consume, or up to half, is lost as waste heat. If you think about that for a second, that means half of the fossil fuels, the natural gas, the coal that is being purchased is lost into the air. That's why there's a $44 billion industrial waste heat recovery market. We are Element 16. We've invented a new technology to capture, store, and deliver waste heat as useful energy, saving them emissions and billions in fuel. Element 16 is named after sulfur, the 16th element on the periodic table. Sulfur is a byproduct of the oil industry and is therefore widely abundant and about as cheap as dirt. This is the core of our technology, and because we use sulfur, we're able to drop the price of heat storage by 90%. This breakthrough was made by a world-class team of engineers and scientists. We've worked at NASA, national labs, and clean tech companies. Between the 4 of us, we have 4 masters and 3 PhDs from Caltech, Virginia Tech, and UCLA. And we have more than a dozen patent registered patents, and pending patent applications. We've been vetted technically and financially backed by the biggest names in clean tech. When we launched in 2016, we won the Caltech US Department of Energy Transformational Idea Award. In 2017, a year into our product development, we received our first grant of over $1 million from the California Energy Commission. And in 2018, a year later, we won additional grants, both from the California Energy Commission and the United States National Science Foundation, to bring our funding to over $3 million. So what is our real impact? Well, we already have an operational proof of concept. This is a 1-ton heat storage unit. This can have the environmental equivalent carbon impact of removing 20 cars from the road. We've also completed fabrication of a 5-ton unit with Brad Allen Woodworks in Los Angeles, California. We're talking the equivalent of 100 cars off of our roads. And during Techstars with Searles Valley Minerals, we've signed a masterwork agreement for a 15-ton unit, the equivalent of 300 cars off the road. And what's most exciting about this is we expect to save them over $2.5 million in natural gas and water savings, all with a payback period of less than 3 years. In the GCC, we've received a request from a multinational energy company to design a 1,000-ton unit. And we're just getting started. Our 3-year roadmap is to work as we fully deploy in the oil industry to deploy 50,000 tons of heat storage, the rough equivalent of 1 million cars off the road, very close to the number of vehicles you see in Dubai. Element 16 has the potential to really impact the economics of the world's largest companies. Element 16 can have a meaningful impact on emissions, limiting the human cost of climate change. This is my Yosemite. Element 16 can protect it for my family and for yours, for generations to come. Thank you.